What's in every one of us? Love. Love. God's love. What else? Power? Power. Wisdom. Wisdom's very important. Light. Did you say light?
Yep.
Light, life. Wow. Yes.
Freedom.
Freedom. Thank you. Kindness. It's in every one of us. Now we're rocking and rolling. We got all this stuff in us. All this is available to me right here and right now. All I have to do is focus on it. That's all I have to do. Happy Father's Day, by the way. All the fathers in the room. How many fathers do we have here? Wow. Oh yeah, me too. Soon to be grandfather. We have grandfathers also? Yes? Okay, what about great-grandfathers? Any of those? Great-grandfathers? None yet? Okay, they're on the way. Because it keeps moving. It keeps going. The universe is moving. As Bruce was demonstrating in the meditation, is that nothing stays the same. It keeps growing. And so my focus should be on those innate qualities within me that we were just talking about, to bring about more of that in the world, to keep that growing, moving. We want to be focused on that. We want to be fearless in our demonstration of the good. And that is where our freedom lies, is that we have the freedom to decide what we're focusing our minds on. We have the freedom of what we decide to do and say and think, especially what we think. We have the freedom to decide what we hold in our hearts. And it's very important that you remember that. No one and nothing can tell you what to hold in your heart, what to believe, what to think. So we're going to focus on the good. Focused on the good and the greater good unfolding, I step into fearless affirmation of my eternal freedom. This was my meditation. I came up with this affirmation for myself this week. I was listening to Joe Dispenza, and he said these words, focused, fearless, and free. And something clicked in me. And I didn't hear a word after that of the rest of that video. But afterwards, I wrote down this affirmation for myself. Focused on the good and the greater good unfolding, I step into fearless affirmation and expression or demonstration of my eternal freedom. This affirmative prayer brings me into a sphere of creative power where manifesting my highest good not only becomes possible, but certain. This is where all the good lies, within you. Manifesting it is just a matter of focusing your power, focusing your mind. So today I want to explore the practice of staying focused, fearless, and free in the face of any and all temporary circumstances on earth. That meditation reminded me how temporary all of this is. But when we focus on it and we make it solid and we make it immovable, we get stuck. And we're fighting against the inevitability of evolution, spiritual evolution, and the evolution of the species. It's a matter of letting go, relaxing my focus, focusing on the good. I'm focused, what am I focused on? Not just my good, but the greater good. Because I feel really good when you're happy. I feel really good when you're experiencing healing and wholeness. I feel really good when we're together experiencing God, experiencing love. I feel really good when that expression, when that experience includes others. So that's what I want to focus on. And I'm also focused on the truth, the divine truth, spiritual principles, laws of the universe. I want to focus on that. What is in every one of us? the truth of that is where my focus wants to be. Even if my good is not apparent in manifestation, or it seems like the evil of this world is dominating the mass consciousness and the actions of the human species, I can focus my mind on ultimate truth. I can choose that. Ultimate truth can never be changed or corrupted by shifting circumstances. So I always bring my mind and my heart back to truth. And focused on truth, the truth of my spiritual nature, I can learn to apply spiritual principles in every aspect of my life. It's not just something that I'm using to bypass the negative feelings or the feelings of fear or sadness that I have. I don't want to bypass those feelings. I want to transmute them into loving energy. That's where your power is. We're not bypassing what's going on in the world. We're shifting the energy and the consciousness so that it transmutes into the greater good. So I'm focused on the truth of my eternal spiritual nature. And now I'm fearless in applying those spiritual principles in every aspect of my life. So many folks here, Unity on Cape Cod, and a lot of Unity ministers that I know and congregations took part in the demonstrations yesterday. Tens of millions of people all around our country and all around the world were coming out in solidarity, saying we can and will commit to creating greater good. And whether you agree with it or not, or whatever information you're getting about all of that, tens of millions of people just like you are participating in something positive. And I want to find out what that is. I want to participate in that. No matter what you think about it, a lot of people are gathered together. And when a lot of energy is gathered together, I want to find out what that's all about and use that energy to transmute to the higher good, to the high, right? Use that energy. I don't want to bypass what seems to be the evils of this world. Sly Stone was not the only one who passed away this week. Just yesterday morning, lawmakers in Minnesota were shot in their home. Melissa Hortman and John Hoffman, and Melissa's wife and Melissa's husband and John's wife. John and his wife are expected to survive. But I'm not using spiritual principles to bypass that. I want to feel it. I want to let myself feel the sadness and the anger that comes with human beings doing those things to one another. What happened to me yesterday was I was so disturbed by that I could not participate in any mass energy. I wanted to sit with my own energy and my own feelings, and I didn't want to dissipate that energy. I want it to be healed in me. So I came across another Unity minister expressing himself, and I thought it was, for me, it was very applicable to my situation. And I want to share it with you because it brought me a level of freedom. Not from resisting my feelings and not from ignoring them or trying to bypass them, but sitting with them, sitting with those feelings. And then this wonderful spiritual perspective about demonstrations that were happening yesterday came across my computer. And it's from Reverend Ron Carstetter, and he's from Pennsylvania, Lehigh Valley, where you guys are from, out there. I met him when I was in ministerial school and also at the conferences that I attend for Unity. And this is what he says. In these times of political unrest and growing authoritarian tendencies in the United States and around the world, we as truth students are called not only to bear witness to truth, but to embody it. The demonstrations emerging across our nation serve as both a prophetic outcry and a spiritual invitation. A collective reminder that in a democracy grounded in the sacred worth of every individual, no one is above the law and no one is born to rule over others. He has a lot more to say. Thank you. No one is born to rule over others because we're in a society that's based on the sacred worth of every individual. And this is what we try to teach and remind ourselves in Unity every week. But our society is actually based on that. That's why it is such a great country, because we attempted to form a society based on sacred worth of the individual, that you are God, that I am God in expression. Or at least a part of God that maybe has forgotten who we are, but we can get back to that memory. That we are divine. That there's a spark of divinity within us. And everyone is sacred. Everyone is important. Every single person has an innate divine worth. He says from a unity and metaphysical perspective, this moment is both a spiritual crisis and a divine opportunity. A divine opportunity. Spiritual invitation. Authoritarianism thrives on fear, control, separation, and the illusion of power being held by the few at the expense of the many. It seeks to install external authority over inner knowing. But truth students know that God is the only true authority, not in the form of a punitive ruler, but as the indwelling presence, the one power, expressing in and through and as us. One presence and one power expressing in us, through us, as us. This is an invitation. And if you're going to go out and join with thousands of people, show up as the divine power. Show up as your divinity. Show up as God expressing in and through and as you. We are co-creators. And he says, as co-creators with the divine, we are not subjects to be ruled. We are sacred expressions of the infinite, called to live in mutuality, freedom, and love. Co-creators with the divine. We're not subjects to be ruled. Right? We are sacred expressions of the infinite. And that's what I need. That's what I want to know about you. That's what I need from you, is to show me your sacred, infinite nature. That's why I'm here, to join with you in that nature. He also goes on to say that the Christ within does not bow down to earthly thrones. I'm going to tell you, this is Jesus of Nazareth. My kingdom is not of this world. I don't bow to any earthly thrones. Amen. But it does not seek domination or submission, either way. But it seeks, the Christ in you is seeking communion and liberation. We're all seeking that. Communion with one another. And liberation from our opening prayer, from the mortal limitations, from the idea that we're limited, from the idea that some lives are worth less than others. So he says, resistance to authoritarianism is not just political, it's deeply spiritual. It's a resistance to the false beliefs in separation, unworthiness, and powerlessness. Is refusal to forget who we are. We're standing up. We're remembering who we are. We're not just these limited beings that are pawns in a story. We are infinite beings. So when we show up for justice, for truth and equity, when we participate in these peaceful demonstrations, we're not rebelling from anger alone. We are responding from a higher consciousness that knows that we are one, all of us. We resist not with hate, but with a holy fire, he says. I love this guy. We resist not with violence, but an unwavering love and a clear vision. As Dr. Martin Luther King taught us, love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power without love is reckless and abusive. But power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. And as truth students, he goes on to say, we are called to live love with power. Not as some spiritual bypass, that it's all fine, it's all good, everything's okay. It's not like that. I'm feeling these feelings, I'm going to use them to transmute whatever energy is happening back to the greater good and back to love. And it's a process that continues. You're never done. As you grow more spiritually, you're going to be called to do more in the world. Not to run away from the world and sit on your mountain and meditate. And that's just fine. But that's where I get the power to come down off the mountain and transmute more energy into the greater good. You do need your times of being at the mountaintop. You do need your times of solitude and meditation. You have to have that. You have to take care of yourself. But then you come back with the power, the spiritual power, to demonstrate the truth of oneness. So as truth students, we're called to live love with power. Divine love is not passive. It's bold. It's healing. It's boundary setting. It speaks truth to the illusions of domination. It calls forth the divine spark in all, even those lost in fear and hatred or the intoxication of control. It says, you too are divine. You've simply forgotten. And I will not let your forgetfulness harm my brothers and sisters. That's what's happening, and that's why people are standing up and demonstrating. Because people are saying, you've forgotten who you are, that's okay. But I will not let your forgetfulness harm my brothers and sisters. I'm going to do what I can to demonstrate truth with power. Listen to what he says there. It's bold, it's healing, and it's boundary setting. It speaks truth to the illusion of domination. At the end of his open letter, he offers us an affirmation, and I offer it to you. I stand as an expression of truth, a voice for justice, and a builder of the beloved community. This is something Martin Luther King offered to us, a vision of the beloved community based on the God within all of us. And we are builders of this beloved community. And together we co-create a nation and a world that honors the light in all. That's what we're doing here. In case you haven't noticed, that's my job. And I want to share it with you. And I know that I am. And even though I didn't show up with you on the streets yesterday, I spent all day praying and discerning what is mine to do today, and how am I to express something that will make a difference. I'm happy that Reverend Ron helped me out here. because obviously there's other Unity ministers doing the same thing. And they're very thoughtful and prayerful and eloquent in their speech. And sometimes I'm just so affected emotionally by what is going on in the world that I don't find myself as eloquent as I would like to be. So thank you, Reverend Ron out there. Thank you for your words this week. Because I affirm, finally, that I am forever free to focus my mind, my heart, my thoughts, my actions in truth and love. I am free forever to do that. And I choose to do that. That's what fills my soul. That's what heals and transmutes any feelings that I might be having. That I can focus my mind, my heart, my thoughts, and my actions on truth and love. That's really where my power is, within my own consciousness. That's where your power is. And no one and nothing can tell you what to think or to focus your attention on. That's the power of prayer. You focus your attention on truth and love, and no one can tell you not to do that. So I'll use my power to focus on spiritual principles and eternal truth. And it's my life's work, really, to bring awareness of this truth, to impact as many people as possible, as long as I'm here. And to love you with as much power and as much authentic expression of the Christ Spirit in me as I possibly can. And all I am asking is that you guys do the same. As much authentic spiritual power as you can. Love your neighbor as yourself. Keep on keeping on. I love you.